All right, we are on day 5, still feeling amazing. It's been a busy day. Yesterday was just as busy. Today was a different kind of busy. We are in, or I have been in my kitchen space all day. If you know, you know. That is on my second YouTube channel where I am showing all of the homesteading progress that we are doing along the way. So I will link that in the description below this video, and that way, if you are curious on the process that we're doing, with developing from absolutely zero, no running water, no power, no nothing on undeveloped land, and the progress we've made in about the last year and a half. I post regularly there. So today is cleaning and organizing this space. It is a 250 square foot cabin that is being blocked off to create a bathroom area. And this baby, I finally have a full-size stove. I haven't had that in about, I don't know how many years, actually. Literally, I don't know how many years. So I'm very excited about it. Anyway, so it's a trick that I use and that I tell my clients to use, by the way, is keep yourself busy. The busier you can be, like I haven't felt hungry. I make sure that I eat in a way where I'm not up and down on a roller coaster of sugar spikes and drops and all of that, keeping the fiber high, keeping the protein high. Um, it's priority in my meals. So what did I eat today so far? I had some stuffed mushrooms. Those were delicious. And I'm pretty sure now that I think about it, I have been so busy today. That's all I've eaten. Now, I said it was going to be real and raw. This is not typical for me. I usually am much better about my nutrition, but again, I'm just kind of getting back in the groove I think my milk has finally dried up. So I don't have to constantly be on top of calories. Like I was actually having a hard time keeping my calories high enough because it was instant. If my calories were low on any given day, if I was busy and I did not eat enough, my milk supply showed it immediately. And it's a challenge. If you have ever breastfed for any period of time, my hat is off to you. I've done it before, but it's just a reminder. I haven't done it in over a decade. My next oldest is almost 12. And then I have an almost 18-year-old, and then here I am with his 9-month-old right now. So it has been a reminder on how challenging life can be when you're trying to do all the things to the best of your ability, and a reminder that you have to give yourself grace. So that is why when I have my clients, for example, it's the same approach that I use. It's not about tracking your macronutrients, your carbs, fat, and your protein. You can, I'm not saying don't, but if you want to start extremely simple, extremely easy, keep it very straightforward, and you will get immediate progress happening, and it takes a lot of the stress off. This industry and society and marketing, and especially to women, we have all this pressure where we have to eat 1200 calories. That's the magic women number. 1200 calories. You're aiming to get skinny. You're aiming to get, lose weight is your first focus, when that should be a happy side effect. I've said this so many times in videos that I've done, and it changes your mindset. It changes your perspective to a healthier, more stress-free approach. And I swear it's the most challenging thing that I have for my clients, for example, because they're so stuck in this mindset, because we've been conditioned for our whole lives, essentially, that you have to do it this certain way. You have to do it this extreme, intense way, and you don't. So my approach, just like I have my clients' approach, is this is kind of across the board simplicity. This is not exact to individual people, but this is where I start people, and this is where I start myself. The goal daily is 100 ounces of fluids, healthy fluids, ideally water, but I put Propel in my water. I'll do fruit infused water. And then after that, the fruit that has, seeped into my water, then whatever mushiness is left over, you throw it and you make a smoothie out of it. So you're not wasting any aspect of it. Or I give it to my dog. So somebody's always eating it. So 100 ounces of fluids is the goal. If you fall short, cool. Okay. That's okay. You're still going to be fully hydrated. All right. And then 100 grams of protein. Now that can fluctuate. Obviously, again, if you fall short, you're still going to hit a pretty decent amount of protein, especially as women, especially as we get older, especially as we are approaching perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, all of those years, because we lose muscle mass so quickly once our hormones shift into that time frame of life. And the closer we get to it, the more important strength training specifically, which I haven't started yet, but we will start that back up. But the more important strength training is, and consuming protein to feed that lean muscle tissue, because you are only going to lose weight. You are not going to drop body fat if you are not consuming adequate amounts of protein. Okay. So yes, there are specific calculations that you can do based on your weight, your height, and your age. Okay. Your weight and your height. I'm sorry. Age doesn't matter, but your weight and your height, there is a specific calculation that I can do for my clients, or that I do for my clients, when they want to be very particular. But I do not start people there. I don't get them. They're not there for a while, depending on where they start, because you don't need to be. If you're aiming for 100 grams of protein, you're in a good place. And then the third element that I start people with, as well as myself, is minimum of 30 grams of fiber every single day. Fiber is your best friend, not in a pill, not in a powder. That's cheating. And your system is not set up to utilize that. Okay. Early man, before we had manufactured food and all these pills, all these supplements, all these things, they had to eat whole foods. Okay. Whole foods is the way to go. Nature sets you up for success. So the more whole food fiber consumption you do, unless you have some sort of specific digestive issue or you're 80 years old, okay, even then, but the older we get, the harder it is to digest those things. But that is why it's so important for flushing your system, eliminating toxins, okay, keeping you regular. But as I've said, the more fiber, the more optimal your digestive system can function. And when that's running optimally, then your major organs can actually do their job to detox your system, flush out everything that needs to be flushed out, including burning body fat. If your liver is all clogged up, that body fat's not going nowhere. Okay. So you don't have to be extreme, and you don't have to be obsessive and super specific. Just aim for general focus goals. And if you have any kind of chunk of weight, like I have, 35 pounds, I'm guessing. I haven't been on a scale since 6 weeks postpartum. And at that time, I had about 35 pounds, probably a little more at this point. I feel like I probably gained some more trying to keep my calories high for breastfeeding. Okay. And I'm okay with that because it was for my baby. So it's cool. And it's factual. It's data. Take the data. Stop being emotional about it. Okay. It's not about the scale. It's not about that one number. It's your energy. It's your mood. It's how you sleep. It's how your clothes are fitting. It's, are you bloated? Are you gassy? All those things matter. I have one client who just eliminated all the chronic headaches she was apparently having. She has Hashimoto's, all these challenges, and she is mesmerized in just the first few weeks of just focusing on more fiber, more protein. The changes that her body has already made unrelated to weight loss. So don't underestimate simplicity. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's not complicated. Okay. So the better you get at it, you develop the skill just like any other skill. It just takes practice and it takes time and it just takes persistence. Show up, stay consistent. Okay. It's not hard. I promise. So sorry about that tangent. But I felt like I needed to say that not only as an explanation for understanding how simple this process is, but knowing that anybody can do this. Women, You can do this, and you don't need to do anything fancy. You don't have to be on a specific diet. In fact, I try to have people not on a specific diet. Just eat whole foods, not clean eating, just whole foods. I still eat processed food. I eat candy. I eat chips. I just not in excess. You can indulge and enjoy yourself. And there's also ways to eat those sweet treats or whatever you're craving occasionally, because it'll only be occasionally whenever you are putting all the good things in your body. Your body is not going to be constantly craving those things, that you can make them in healthy ways. That is why I'm so excited about this stinking oven, because I'm about to get crazy and I'm about to share some recipes with y'all. Okay. So point is, that is where I'm starting. I'm pretty sure my milk is dried up, which ironically, as exhausting as it was, and as much as I was like really struggling to even make it to 9 months, it's kind of bittersweet because I know this is my last baby and it's like another chapter is done and it will never happen again. And that's kind of a sad thought, but at the same time, you move on. The only constant is change, right? So, exercise examples or exercise suffering for y'all's enjoyment will be will be coming soon. But just take that approach, okay? I promise you it works. And it's not necessarily the permanent condition of the process, because it depends on where you are in your weight loss journey or your health transformation journey. Because once you get into those lower numbers, like you only have the last like 5 or 10 pounds, you do have to be more specific, because you have to tap in a little more intentionally to what is left in that stored body fat. But in the general terms, if you're just trying to start somewhere, aim for 100 grams of healthy fluid, or 100 ounces of healthy fluid. That can include from your food, soups, stews, that kind of thing. It counts. Bone broth, whatever. It counts. Okay. Liquid is liquid. Okay. And then 100 grams of protein is the goal, and a minimum of 30 grams of fiber. That's the bare minimum. Okay. Recommended daily allowance allowance for females is 25 grams a day. And most women don't even get half of that. And you wonder why you have all these digestive issues, or you can't poop. Okay. Let's talk about some poop. We'll do that on another day, but don't be afraid to talk about poop. Okay. I'm just saying. Anyway, day 5, feeling good. I'll see you tomorrow.